So I don't even know where I am right now, except in the Milky Way galaxy. Because I was just telling Sharon through text that I've been experiencing years in the past few weeks since this storm hit. I'm actually sitting outside of a Taco Bell in Abingdon, Virginia, on my way heading back home to get to my doctor's appointments and stuff. I'm a disabled veteran, and I'm from around the Norfolk, Virginia area. So we've kind of been waiting for a storm like this to hit us forever. I've been alive and a resident of Chesapeake, Virginia for 44 years, and we're just waiting for it to hit us, basically. So I also was on a troop transport ship that carried Marines to war, but one of our primary secondary missions was to get Americans out of nasty situations, whether it be foreign countries or responding to these types of disaster situations. So a lot of my training is from taking in and processing large amounts of people in these types of situations, getting them medical attention, food, health, access to health care, anything that we need to get for people before we can get them to their ultimate destination while I was in the Navy. And I was also a satellite communications technician on board a ship, which kind of plays into a lot of what's going on in the ground. Past couple of weeks, when the storm was hitting, we started organizing in Hampton Roads, getting donations because we're one of the largest metropolitan areas closest to this region. And so we were originally able to work through our mutual aid disaster relief collective there in Hampton Roads to carry down 2 completely loaded U-Haul box trucks and a trailer full of supplies. Our first drop we made with our friends at Ola, Carolina, which was very beautiful. This was probably about a week after the storm hit. We were finally able to get it down, and a group of us, we basically convoyed across Virginia on Interstate 64 and 81 and stopped multiple places filling up. And then so we delivered supplies, and then I went up to above, oh gosh, see, I can't remember where I've been. Spruce Pine, that's where it was. I was at the Skyline Inn for a few days, and this is where it gets kind of hairy because I didn't go into the deep, devastated areas, but I was working out of a makeshift operations center, being briefed by special operations from the Army, working with 101st Airborne, 82nd Airborne, and again, these aren't situations that we want to see in our country. I think I've kind of heard a common denominator with that. However, seeing this type of response from so many groups, and I've only seen, these big dual propeller helicopters and Black Hawks and stuff landing in war zones or when we were training for war, not landing maybe a couple hundred yards from the Blue Ridge Parkway atop some of the most beautiful mountains on the East Coast. So I was working, one of the biggest problems since the hurricane, and one of the reasons I'm down here now, is communications. Everybody takes for granted the fact that we have these cell phones and computers in our hands, and even on top of these mountains can just get a signal and talk to people. And being a ham radio operator, I knew good and well that people weren't able to talk. My job today, I went down to Big Creek Free Will Baptist Church and met Pastor Todd Robinson and his community. I think it's about 40 households they serve back in this holler. And they lost 2 of their fire stations completely. I think they said they had 3 fire stations throughout, probably about a 5-mile radius in this holler. And I was talking to Mike Fox, who's one of the 3 volunteer firefighters. They need brand new fire stations out in the Pisgah National Forest. Mike is a high school math teacher by day, and right now he is one of the few firefighters in the area that knows how to get places. And just the stories that I'm hearing of their elderly communities not having access to power, not having to keep their medicines cold, to keep their CPAP machines going, to keep their oxygen machines going. And I drive a little Ford Escape all-wheel drive, and this vehicle barely made it into where they are, like on the roads getting to them. So these people have no less than 6 months to a year to even get back to think that they're people in a civilized world. They come to church every single day because it's the only place they might be able to get a signal from the Starlink. I was talking to one of the guys who's been working with their Starlink, trying to get that, but because it's the Smoky Mountains, when the fog settles in, they have no communication with the outside world whatsoever still. Power might be restored up there in 3 weeks minimum, but it's probably going to be longer to get to some of the deeper people. So what I'm doing is working with these communities, and it's beautiful seeing the love that Asheville and the towns down below are getting. However, these extremely, extremely rural Appalachian folk, the folk that places like Highlander Center and Poor People's Campaign in North Carolina are committed to working with, are the people that we need to make sure we are giving our all to. Because I know good and well, both from my military experience and being a lifelong resident of Hampton Roads, what happens after this. We give this outpouring of love and support for a few weeks, and then it dwindles away. These people need us to be there for months, if not years to come. And that's my goal. Is right now I'm working, this is what I started today on this project, is I need a team to rebuild fire stations and put communications repeaters and antennas in a national forest. So come sign up. Y'all know how to get in touch with me. I am very humbled to be with y'all, and I do want to leave y'all with saying, if I would have known that Shally was down in Asheville, I would have gone the opposite way tonight. Thanks a lot. Have a great evening.